All right, guys, Gaming Compute, welcome back to the podcast. Hope you don't mind. I'm going to be drinking some water because my throat is a little dry. Got this dry weather over here in Southern California, and it gets hot, and in the mornings it's cold, and I have the heater on. It's just dry. My sinuses are acting a mess. But anyways, we are going to be talking about a new project, revamped project. You guys know that I had that experience before with Shopify. We're jumping back in, guys. Now, I have many things to say so far. Mostly, I've been trying to study about running these online stores, what the most successful people are doing. I feel like I had a good first couple runs at it. I learned a lot. Um, I learned a lot about traffic and ads, creating ads, you know, working with TikTok ads, working with Instagram and Facebook, and the challenges of getting accounts banned and all that stuff. Um, and how much money might go into something, shipping times, AliExpress, quality of items, uh, the whole nine. And I think overall, from what I've been researching recently, mostly in the month of October, some in the month of September, I think I came to the same consensus as what I noticed with others, uh, with what others have mentioned too. Because I feel like I only heard myself kind of thinking this way and talking this way about drop shipping before, with that whole, the whole conundrum around, you know, the competition issue with Amazon Prime, the swiftness of which you would regularly get an item, right? So, say for example, if I'm selling something in a popular niche, golf, for example, I don't know. We're coming up on winter, so maybe people aren't really thinking about golf in the winter, but whatever. Golfers, I think they still like golf. Maybe there's some indoor golf uh, accessories and equipment that people can get, and so maybe that's something better for the cold times a year. Over here, it's not really cold, other than in the mornings, but that's just for right now. But yeah, some things are seasonal. But anyways, let's say if it's a niche like that. Like, the thing about golf is that it has a young following, it has an older following, and it's not something that's gonna completely become obsolete. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like a fidget spinner or like a laptop that after like 5 years, nobody, it's not worth as much as it would be, or like a car that's like, okay, like it's new now, but eventually, like after like a decade or so, it's not really a thing for most people. Like, when you think about, golf, it's like it's been around for ages. People are still involved with it. There are people in their 20s, their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, 60s, all genders, people are interested in golf. I mean, not every demographic of people cares, but I mean, you know, it's not like a sport like rollerblading that kind of like phased out, or like roller derby that kind of like, yeah, it's popular but kind of not popular anymore. It's one of those sports that's kind of like stood the test of time, right? So you're not going to assume that, like, if you run up a store in 2 years, like nobody's golfing anymore. Oh no, like people hate golf. Like you could expect it's something like fishing, like hunting. People are gonna keep doing it. Soccer. People are gonna keep playing. Um, it's got a big enough following that people aren't gonna stop. You know. But say if you find something in a niche like that, and you're selling some kind of putting green for indoors, in your office or in your house during the winter or something, and it's like a little rollout putting green, and you know Amazon Prime maybe has it. I don't know the prices on it, but say Amazon Prime has it for $20 and you can get it by 4 a.m. for an extra $2.99. I could order it now and I could have it. It's Thursday now. I could order it now and have it by Friday 4 a.m. I could possibly, if it's early enough, I could possibly even have it by 10 p.m. Thursday, same day. Now, if I had a store on Shopify and I was selling that same putting green for even a fraction of the cost, let's say if I was able to source it and still make a profit selling it at $10 to $15, but it's going to take 2 weeks, is that price, differentiation really that attractive to a buyer, right? So that's the initial thing that was the issue, I think, with you know running a full drop shipping Shopify store without actually having the product to ship it from home, without actually buying the product and going through AliExpress. Now there are other options other than AliExpress that are maybe a little faster, might be about 7 days or so, a little bit faster, but I do believe these other sourcing sites, these other manufacturers, you know, they seem to cost money upfront. I think you have to have a subscription. I don't think it's free. I don't know. I've noticed too some of the apps in the Shopify store are no longer free as well, because I think my store was connected with like Dropshipman. I don't know if it is there anymore or if it's free anymore or what. So there's things like this to think about where it's like, you know, I have to sit with it and ask myself, um, what can I change this time around? What can be changed, so that I'm not repeating the same thing? This is a different test, to repeat something different, to repeat things that worked and try a different method to see what happens with traffic and sales. So I'm going to get into that strategy a little soon, and um, let's see if there's anything else from the past that I've learned and was kind of questioning, that I wanted to kind of get at with this new revamped version of this project. So, in addition to that question of, why would someone purchase something even if it's cheaper from a site that's going to take way longer, I think that price gap has to be so big. Like, you have to be paying so much more, um you know like maybe if it's like $50 to $100 difference, people might be like, oh wow, you know I'd rather buy it from this store instead of from Amazon. Now, another big question is, why would people buy it from my Shopify store versus buying it from AliExpress themselves? Because if you think of it, my store would have marked the price up So not only is it more expensive than AliExpress, it still takes the same amount of time, but it costs more and it takes longer than Amazon Prime. So you've got that in between price possibly. Or maybe it costs as much as an item from Amazon Prime, depending on what you want your profit margins to really look like. So when you think of that, you know, because especially nowadays, AliExpress isn't like a new, you know, unknown site. There's other sites like Sheen and Wish and some other little sites, well, big sites like that, they've kind of brought to the forefront, this idea of, people buying for cheap, willing to wait from uh, items to come from China to be shipped in about two weeks, maybe even 3 or 4 weeks in some cases, um, for an item to get to them. So this is now becoming more of a common idea of like, hey, I can get, if I want a polo shirt for golfing, I can wait 2 weeks and order this nice polo shirt off of Sheen for like $5 versus like 60, $70 on some other person's website, even if it's branded or not, or even if it's an Etsy site. I know Etsy, you can do print on demand, and I think it was Printful or one of those types of print on demand sites. They have um, brand name, t-shirts, like plain brand name t-shirts that you can get your products printed on. So it's like brands like, I think it's called Gildan, and I can't remember if I saw Reebok on there, but it's more than just like your classic like Hanes t-shirt or like Walmart's like Russell brand or whatever. It's you know actual shirts that are actually like name brand shirts. And so, you know, it's a name brand company, high quality shirt with your own design or whatever printed on it. And so those seem to be like maybe like a decent quality. And if you like the design and you're kind of more interested in like something that's like by a creator, like maybe like a content creator that you like, that's like that's their merch, or like, maybe there's some person who does, there's something that you like that maybe they have like an Etsy account open or something and you like their stuff, and so you just go for it. And you might enjoy that and you might like that. You might like the shirts and everything, and you might buy them for that reason because it's high quality brand name and you like the design. It might be a unique design that you can't really get anywhere. I mean, that is kind of an interesting idea, like, because I've kind of noticed, like, most of the time polo shirts are pretty plain. Like, I don't know if this is even a marketing, like, able to be marketed at all, but usually polo shirts are known for being pretty plain compared to like a graphic tee. And so there might be some kind of better market for polo shirts that actually have designs on them, because a lot of times when you get a polo shirt, it's like, it's either like a pattern or just like plain with a little bitty logo. Like that's pretty common. You don't really get like a graphic design on your polo shirt. Like most polo shirts aren't like that. And so that could be something that, like, if you're in a golf niche and you run up like an Etsy store and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna make polo shirts that have like designs on them instead of like actual like graphic designs instead of just like a pattern or like a plain look to it. That could be something marketable, especially if you have like an audience or can find an audience, or if you're in a niche like golf, like things like that. Like there's got to be some reason why somebody would rather buy your stuff off of your store compared to just going themselves to Wish or Sheen or AliExpress on their own and purchasing it for like $3 and waiting the 2 weeks. Like if they're going to purchase it from you at a marked up price, they might as well purchase it from AliExpress or one of these other sites, right? So you got to kind of think of it that way. That's kind of how I started thinking of it. I was like, it's not that the ads don't get views, it's not that the store isn't getting traffic, but I think people click around and they look and they're like, the shipping time is going to be a long time, and the prices, they could find it cheaper on these other sites and just get it shipped for cheaper to themselves. So if you can't compete with those measures, you probably have to appeal to the instantaneous impulse buy. So I've seen a lot of viral content around products that are um, how shall I say, products that are, that have viral video content value. So like not that long ago, we know about fidget spinners, and then a little after that there were these little like glow in the dark balls, like sticky, kind of like a ball that you could like throw up on your ceiling and like lay on your bed and throw it on your ceiling, and they'd have like blue, green, yellow, pink, like red, whatever, and then they kind of fall down maybe in the order that you threw them up there. Like they kind of stick for a while and then they kind of fall down. And it's supposed to be like a chill, like relaxing activity for people to kind of want to like, throw their stuff up there, just kind of relaxing and just kind of like killing time, just kind of chilling. Maybe you're listening to music in the background or a podcast or something, and you're just like throwing these things. It's just like a relaxing kind of chill activity. It's not like a pumped up game. There's no real competition to it. Kind of like how you play some games on your phone. It's kind of like that same idea, but you're like, it's something that's like not connected to like electronics. And so I think there's an appeal to it there, because it would get people off of their devices and just kind of like, you can be in your own headspace and just kind of play with these, and it shouldn't be a big issue, right? You would think, okay, this isn't like a big issue, but the video content is easy to make. They're cheap to buy. You can kind of like throw them around and stuff, and it's kind of like fun, like a little novelty to it. At that time, I don't think you could just easily buy them on like at like Walmart or at like a 7-Eleven or something. Like fidget spinners, you could buy them at like a gas station or 7-Eleven at a certain point. And so once it gets to that point, it's like, why is somebody going to wait 2 weeks for something that they can get, you know, just next time they go to the gas station, like tomorrow or whatever? So you got to figure out that impulse buy uh, factor. You know, I'm not super into TikTok, but I do understand the addictive quality of it, and I do understand the psychological aspect of how, there's those little dopamine hits, and then it, can be related to like impulse buying and stuff like that. There is a bit of psychology behind, um, having a store connected to TikTok. And now TikTok does have like a buy feature where you can buy now on TikTok. They also have um the ads now cost more on TikTok as well. Before I think you could do like $5 at a time or something. Now you have to do like 20 minimum. Um, and so there are those changes. Um, but you really got to look into it to see for yourself, kind of what it is that your options might look like. Um, I would say one of the bigger things for me would probably be, either trying to find a product that is that you can create viral content with. Um, Trying to check. Now, I've researched on Amazon, not Amazon, on eBay. No, it was on TikTok. I researched on TikTok some of the best selling products, people who are actually selling thousands of products of a certain type. And I kind of know what they're doing. So, what I've set out to do is trying to repackage arts and crafts supplies. So, you know how you can kind of buy a lot of stuff in bulk as if you had like a classroom or, like a little Hobby Lobby type of, you know, uh, event that you hold or something like that where people come and do crafts. You can buy stuff kind of in bulk for those kind of events, right? Like when you buy yarn or when you buy like cloth and stuff like that, usually you buy a lot of it. You don't usually buy like a little thing. Like if you're gonna have a little party where people get together and like make stuff, you're gonna have like supplies, or people have to bring their own, but you'd probably have supplies if you're hosting. So I'm kind of treating it like that, like buying stuff, buying supplies, and then trying to resell those supplies repackaged, um, either by type or by color, and sell them really cheap, with fast shipping, to see if it's possible to make a profit off of it and actually having the products. So I'm sourcing them from Amazon Prime and just like portioning it up and trying to sell it that way. And I think the content isn't like, it's not going to be like novelty, like high energy content of like, oh, look how this like power washer like sprays this stuff. And like, it's kind of more like, they kind of, not, I wouldn't call it ASMR, but it's more like the relaxing videos. Like you've seen those videos where people have like the kinetic sand, or like they're just like coloring or doing something like that, and it's like some people like that stuff more than like the pumped up videos. So I'm kind of taking that route and trying to see if I can create some relaxing type of video, like little short ads, because I feel like I could create quite a few little relaxing videos of like using like arts and crafts materials, like making little things, little trinkets, little bracelets, little whatever, like actually creating something and making relaxing content. And then that might get people viewing that content and then they might buy the products. Um, and, it's kind of within the niche that I was already in, which was the beauty niche. But I feel like with the beauty products, you can't really make a lot. Like, I don't wear makeup. So it's like, well, I'm not going to be putting makeup on myself, you know, making content. And so, unless I get footage of other people putting on certain makeup or using certain, you know, beauty devices, like, it's not going to be content that I filmed on my own. And so I feel like there's only so much content with some products that you're going to find. And I kind of ran into that wall last time where I was like, the one product that was supposedly a winning product that I was trying to pitch was like, there was only so much content I could really make with it, and it wasn't that interesting. It's not something that I could find myself daily wanting to like make a little bit of like few, like 2 3 little video clips to post. Like, it's not that interesting. Like, to me, I was like, this is not interesting enough to even buy it beforehand and try to make videos. But versus like arts and crafts stuff, I'm like, well, I could still, you know, get the benefit of kind of like making little arts and crafts, little hobby, little things. And, like, I'm not gonna do like some whole like knit or crochet a blanket or anything, but it's like, you can make little things, like crochet a little ring or crochet a little friendship bracelet, or do those little braided ones and little tasks like that that are like simple. It's like it turns out well. It gives people creative ideas. It's relaxing to watch somebody kind of do it. Um, and then you're kind of just like enjoying yourself versus, you know, making other types of content, about makeup and stuff that I'm like, I can't really make any content, you know, that I can actually make myself because I'm not going to use this stuff anyway. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it now. I'm going to see. It kind of depends how long it takes for the stuff to ship to me from Amazon because I ordered it yesterday. It might actually be here if I can check my email. Let me see. It might have actually arrived. Um, no, I don't see that it's arrived yet, but that's okay. And then, all right. So that's about it for now. That's about where I'm going with things. I'm gonna see if things work this time around. Taking it this direction, kind of see what happens with it. I'm not. I don't think I'm overdoing it with anything. It seems like it's gonna be pretty smooth, pretty easy enough to make content. Um, I think I'll be a little motivated towards this content a little bit. Like it doesn't seem like it's gonna be too overbearing of an activity to take on, and it'll force me to sit and kind of like relax and create little things. And I'll see if there's really a lot of people out there that like that kind of stuff, because I like some of the like ASMR quality type of stuff, where you're just watching it and you're like, oh, this is kind of chill. Like even if I'm not gonna buy it, like I like watching people, do little hobbies and stuff where they're not really talking and there's not really a lot going on. You're just kind of watching them kind of like, you know, chill, So I might do that and then we'll see. I think it would be easy to make some video content like that and then um post it up on a regular basis. Uh just test it out that way. And then like, I'd actually have some of the products and then be able to kind of like resell the portioned out little pieces. So I'm gonna try it, see what happens. Doesn't hurt to try. I mean, it's stuff from Amazon Prime, so if all else fails and it doesn't sell, I mean, I know it's opened and used, but they don't really care if you return it if it's used. So that's kind of my plan. Like, if it's not, you know, if it seems like it's not going to be profitable, I'll return the stuff that I purchased and, you know, call it a day. And at least I won't be losing money on products. I'm not even gonna sell them back. I'm not gonna try to even sell it, maybe, unless I could sell it on eBay or something. But I'd rather just, return it to Amazon. So, but yeah, I could open it and use it for content for now. So that's kind of plan A, early phases of my planning and kind of how I got to this plan based on the past experiences. So we're gonna see where this goes. It shouldn't be. I have faith in this method. I'm already getting traffic back. I got my site back up. I had to choose a different domain name with the plural with an S at the end, because my domain name, they say someone purchased it. So what I found out is when I was looking up my old domain name, because I let it lapse. When I was looking up my old domain name, I actually, you can find it when you're not logged in. It says it's available and it's always different prices. One day it said it was 50, one day it said it was 30 or 40. Yesterday I looked again, it said it was $14.99. But once I log in, it says it's not available. And so there's something wrong with it. I've talked to GoDaddy about it multiple times and they're like, oh, you have to go through this broker and it's going to be like $69.99 and then you have to pay a commission on top of that. I'm like, nah, I'll just take the one with the S at the end and keep the .com, and then I don't have to change that much. um you know I don't have that many followers on TikTok, and the Instagram, I was able to open a new Instagram now because my other one got banned. So now that I have a new username, I can open a new Instagram. So I'm seeding that account. I barely opened it a few, like 2 3 days ago, so I think I'll be able to start posting on there. All I need now are the products to ship and to make some little video content, and then see if that gains attraction and if any of that traffic leads to any kind of sales. I'll be testing this against the products that are already on the store, which seem to not be leading to any sales. The ads seem to lead to traffic, but they don't seem to lead to sales. And since I'll have some of the products with me, I'll be able to ship them a lot faster. Um, so I'd probably do like just regular kind of like USPS shipping. Um, and probably keep it flat rate. I don't really know yet though, but we'll see. I think this is a possibly a better method. We'll see. I don't know if it really is, but all right, guys, let's see what happens.